Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. It is a beautiful day. It's September the 6th. Good morning from Nashville, or actually Mount Juliet, Tennessee. I say Nashville, but it's actually Mount Juliet. Will y'all give me just a second? I need to read. Good morning, Melanie. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Vanessa. I've got the technical issues that are coming to me this morning, just like all of a sudden. Um, everything must be something great going to happen today. Good morning, Alex, Millie, Lynn. Look at y'all. Good morning, Facebook user. Good to see you this morning. Y'all, I'm not joking, man. So I use my phone as my camera. There's an app called Camo that I've been using, gosh, since the beginning of this. But good morning, Michelle T. And it's been fantastic. And all of a sudden, it's giving me fits. If you if you were with me and Christy yesterday, as we were trying to get the call done to talk to our mentor, the mentor bunch yesterday, if you could have heard the conversations in the background as we were trying to get on that call, it was actually pretty funny. But somehow, some way, the camo app on my phone is crapping out. So I've been fighting with this camera thing for like the last 4 or 5 minutes trying to get on this call. So I apologize for being a little bit late, but we'll get rolling. Get rolling. I'm gonna adjust the light just a second because this lighting is terrible. So let me adjust the light real quick, guys, and I'll be right back. Sorry. Everything good that happens, something bad is trying to stop it. So that's just kind of the way. That's just kind of the way it is. We just have to just grin and bear it sometimes. And when you look like I look, you have to get all the help you can get with lighting. Sometimes lighting's not enough, though, right? But we'll give it a shot. I think I need to start traveling. Apparently, I need to start traveling with a technical guy to help with set things up because I may have lost my touch. Good morning, everybody. Let's get rolling, man. We missed y'all yesterday. Obviously, we yesterday being Labor Day, we had a lot of people traveling. Well, we had one person traveling. Had a lot of you that were getting beauty rest and sleeping in and all that kind of stuff. So maybe there was something on the call that you guys listened to yesterday that helped you through your day. Hopefully that happened and helped you through your day and got you going. But we're looking at uh, man, almost to the fourth quarter of this year. Who would have thought? Do y'all remember, like in December of last year, when I said, "Hey, look, y'all, January's coming. You've got to you need to get your plan for 2022 because January is right around the corner, and before you know it, it's going to be March, and then before you know it, it's going to be August, and get your plan in place. It is September. I mean, it literally feels like I had that conversation like a month ago, and we're almost a year later. Um, these things roll by fast, and it seems that what are they? But the thing that days are slow, but years are fast. Years are starting to fly by right now. Um, so important. It's so important for us to have a routine. It's so important for us to get our stuff together. The title today, and I'll be honest with you, there was a couple of things that I heard running. I had a really good run this morning, y'all. 3:45 this morning. I got up and it's getting easy. I'm telling you, the difficult things get easy the longer you do them. Good morning, Teal. The hard things get easier the more you do them. The difficult thing and I promise y'all, that's the whole reason. That's why getting up. Good morning, Brenda. Is that Anna? Is she the other Facebook user? Yep. Um, that's the whole point. 75 hard was not. There's nothing in 75 hard that's that difficult. Right? It's not hard to go work out 45 minutes. It's not hard to drink water. It's not hard to pay attention to what you eat. It's not hard to do any of those things. The difficult piece of 75 hard is doing it all together, is scheduling the time, doing the things that are necessary that are going to make you better in that on that 76th day. That's what makes it hard. It's more of a mental challenge than it is a physical challenge. And me getting up at 3:45 in the morning Central Time or 4:45 in the morning Eastern Time, that's there's really no significant physical benefit to that other than I train myself. I tell myself, I've taught myself, I'm creating new habitual behaviors that are allowing me to very, very small victories allow me to understand bigger victories. When you have a collection of very small victories, you begin to get more confident that you can achieve bigger victories. When you have a collection of small wins, those small wins build momentum for the bigger wins. And I think that's the whole point of getting up early. Like this morning, I mean, it's easy. I mean, yesterday morning, it was easy. Um, it really, really is. It's getting so much easier to get up, and now my morning starts to roll. I'm more productive. I'm able to do the things I need to do, and I'm able to get going in the mornings, and hopefully, with each one of these small wins, we begin to achieve bigger wins and begin to climb higher mountains. Every small peak that you summit gets you closer to the next peak. That peak gets you closer to the next peak. So we're always building. Life is always building and always growing and always we're always trying to ascend to our higher selves. I truly believe I really do believe that's what this thing's all about. I really do believe that our life and our walk on this planet is to ascend to the highest version of who we are because I believe there's a reason our arms go this way is that the higher and the better we get, the more we're able to reach out, the more people we're able to help, the more hugs we're able to give, the more hands we're able to offer, the more things we're able to do for the people around us. And as we start to expand those circles and start to grow those circles, you grow your community, you grow your tribe, and you grow the people who are most like you. You know, that's those people then duplicate that behavior. They then do the same thing. So, and we talked about this yesterday a lot about how modeling behavior. People are watching you. Like this morning, you know, Millie. I know for sure that Millie and Charlie Page are getting ready to go to school, and that Charlie Page listens to these messages, this call every morning. I know that Violet Tilson is listening with Michelle. She hears these every morning. Though Michelle and Millie are modeling behavior to their daughters. I know that Lainey every now and again jumps on these calls. Christy has modeled behavior to her daughter. There are things that we do where we model behavior. Carrie and every one of you with kids, you're modeling behavior to first your children. To those kids who are watching you. Jagger watches me get up in the morning. Cade watches me get up in the morning. They see this behavior and they begin to model it. And that's the cool thing about it. When you see someone else that's able to do it, or you see someone else doing it, that then gives you the belief that you can do it. It's one of the greatest things about a tribe, one of the greatest things about community. Probably one of the key pieces of our culture at Exit Realty Lake Country is the fact that we are all so close. And that when one of us sees the other one accomplish something, it kind of gives you well, if she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. It kind of gives you that boost, that wind in your sails, and allows you to sort of chase. And that's really the title of this morning is: Are you a hunter or are you hunted? Um, Most of you missed yesterday, and I don't know if you watched it or not, but I talked about something. There was a story, and I'll repeat this story because I think it's really applicable to this topic this morning. There's a monk, and there's a monastery, and three visitors came to the monastery to visit. Good morning, Doug. Doug was there yesterday morning. Um, the visitors came to the monastery, were walking with the monk. As they're walking through a courtyard, three dogs who were chained up break free from their chains. And as they break free from those big chains, the dogs are really, really, really aggressive, and they start barking and they start running towards the four people walking through the courtyard. Well, the three visitors who were walking through the courtyard obviously see the dogs running at them, barking, coming at them full speed, head down, haunches up. The three visitors take off running. The monk, on the other hand, takes off. He runs as well, but he runs towards the dogs. He runs at the dogs. And as he's running at the dogs, as the dogs get faster, the monk gets faster. As the dogs get louder, the monk starts to sing. The monk starts to make noise. And the monk actually chases after the dogs who were chasing after them. At some point, the dogs realize that the monk is not afraid. The dogs didn't become afraid themselves and stop chasing, stop barking, and they turn around and run back to their corner and lay down. You all have this primitive thing in you. Every one of us still have this primitive fight or flight response. Still have it, not been taken away. So in the era of saber-toothed tigers or dogs coming at you 100 miles an hour, viciously, you think they're going to viciously attack you, your response is going to be to run most of the time. You're going to flee like the saber-toothed tiger. If you're in the cave and you walked out of the cave and the saber-toothed tiger walks up, you're going to run back in the cave. We all have this primitive fight or flight response. But what the monk did is the monk said, I'm not going to run from that, I'm not going to run from that thing that's scaring me. I'm going to run toward it because there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be fearful of. So when I ask you, are you a hunter or are you being hunted? Your fear is always chasing you. Difficulty, distress, losing is always chasing you. It's always coming after you. It's easy to be a loser. It's easy to quit. It's easy to stop. It's easy not to start. Losing is always chasing you. It's easier to stay in bed till 9 or 10 o'clock than it is to get up at 3:45 in the morning. It's easier not to go to the gym than it is to go to the gym. It's easier to not read books than it is to read books. It's easier to not make phone calls than it is to make phone calls. It's easier to back away from situations that you're uncomfortable in than it is to go encounter those situations. Your fear is always chasing you. It is always around the corner. It is always sitting there waiting for you like a little monster, like a big monster. I don't know how big your fear is. Most of us, again, if you remember what we talk about a lot, and I think this is scientifically proven, this is not anything that Aaron came up with, but we all have been given our emotional quotient between the time 0 to 7 years old. So everything all of our emotions, good, bad, or otherwise, that we're going to experience later in life are all downloaded or inputted into us from 0 to 7. So we all have fears. We all have these anxieties. We all have these things that are in us that are from years and years and years ago. We put them down. Our parents, our dad, especially men, our dad, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, son, suck it up. Put some dirt on it, keep moving. No reason to cry. Why are you crying? Crying's for sissies. Don't cry. Now y'all know that doesn't affect me because I cry all the time. That really doesn't bother me. But at the same time, those words from that parental figure, those words from that person who you value, who you trust with your life, who's supposed to care or take care of you and make sure that you're safe. When that person says those words to you, when a parent says things to you, when a parent withholds love from you, when a parent withholds their emotion from you, when you perceive that a parent maybe abandoned you, when you perceive that a parent was less than your ideal version of a parent, you have repressed emotions. There are things inside you, deep down inside you, those fears, hurts, and emotions that were given to you before 7 that are repressed in there. And do you know how you find out what emotions you have repressed? Watch when somebody challenges you. Watch what happens when somebody gets close to that fear. Watch what happens when somebody gets close to that repressed emotion. Watch what happens when somebody starts to circle that emotion that you get down, that you stick way down deep inside because you don't want to feel it anymore. You lash out. You get really, really defensive. You start to really come at people from with a vengeance. You take it from 0 to 15. when somebody gets close to that repressed emotion? Are you a hunter or are you being hunted? Are you allowing these repressed emotions? Are you allowing these fears? Are you allowing these things to chase you? Are you the three people running from the three vicious dogs? Are you running from fear? Are you running from worry? Are you running from doubt? Or are you going to be the monk who says, there's nothing to be scared of? And turn and face those fears and run at those fears and begin to one by one kick those fears in the face. Tia Wood says that one by one, kick those fears in the face. One by one, punch those fears right in the mouth. One by one, get that fear taken care of. Are you courageous enough to face your fears? Because there are a lot of studies that say that it's our fears, it's our lack of our fears keep us stuck. Let me say it that way. Our fears keep us stuck. What if I told you, back up, ask you a question. We've been talking about for quite a while, chasing your dreams, chasing your desires. I asked some people, give me a big dream you have. And the one that I remember that stood out to me, Carrie said she wanted a house with acreage and that she wanted a house on the lake. Those are the two that I remember. What big dreams or desires do you have? What big dreams or desires have you written down on a piece of paper? What big dreams or desires do you have posted somewhere that you can see it, that that's what you're going after? And feel free to put them in here. Feel free to be accountable. Feel free to, because again, you not sharing your dreams or desires is a fear. I want you to feel this. If I ask you what's your dream or desire, and I say share it on the page, share it in the group, put it on this call, that what's your biggest dream and desire? And I want you to feel the emotion. And I want you to feel the emotion of, don't put your dream or desire on there because somebody will make fun of you. Don't put your dream or desire on there because people will think you're stupid. Don't tell Aaron. Don't write it in there. Don't put it in the comment box because other people are going to ridicule you. Do you feel that? Because a lot of us do. A lot of you are feeling that right now. It's in the little, small, inconsequential details like this, where you just do one thing, and then you do the next thing, and then you do the next thing, and you chase, and you become the hunter, and you turn and face your fears, and you chase those fears, and one by one, you start to chop them down. One by one, you start to kill them. One by one, you put them in a bag and you throw them away. One by one, you go fear after fear after fear after fear. Obviously, some fear is healthy, some fear is okay, right? Some fear, when you're walking through, downtown Chicago and there's a dark alley. Probably when you look at down that dark alley and say, I think that's a shortcut to Starbucks. I think I'll go that way. That fear that you feel, that's probably keeping you from getting shanked walking through the street downtown Chicago. But the fear of making a phone call, the fear, none of you in this morning, right now, none of you have put your comment on what your big dream or desire is. You should have it. It should be right in the forefront of your mind. It should be right there in the forefront of your spirit. It should be right there in the forefront of your belief. Yet none of you have taken a step and typed your fear or typed your dream in the comment box. So I'm challenging you a little bit. Fear will keep you from your dreams. Fear will keep you from your highest and best self. Fear will keep you locked in a cage. Fear will keep you running in the courtyard. If you ever want to achieve that thing, and I don't know what it is, if you ever want to achieve that, you got to face your fears. You got to knock them down. You got to punch them in the face. You've got to take an active role. You've got to become the hunter. You've got to turn and chase and fight those fears. So here we go. Thank y'all. Thank you, Brenda. Brenda says, house on that mountain lot in White County. Millie says, a successful real estate school, and then a children's book series. She said, I have a ton more, but I'm driving home. I love it. Okay. Doug, I think this is you. Yeah. Michelle McDonald Tilson. Biggest life dream is becoming completely financially independent. Doug says, I've had a rough 2022. Health issues, personal issues, and I've dealt with them head on. You cannot conquer all of them at once. Hang on, I gotta let's see. Let me read it. I'm gonna put this in here so I can read it. I've had a rough 2022. Health issues, personal issues, and I've dealt with them head on. You cannot conquer all of them at once, and I was writing this before AD mentioned it. Inner peace and success in the small things in my life. That's the dream. Because small things turn big. Simple pleasure in life is a dream, and the bigger dreams will come true when you accomplish the smaller ones. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Brenda says, I got more, but I'm on the way to the gym. I love it, Brenda. I love it. So here's what I'm telling you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. You do have it. Millie says, we got this, y'all. Without a doubt, you got this, y'all. Life, I'm telling you, the highest and best version of you is waiting. The Bible says Jesus stands at the door and knocks. He just stands at the door and knocks. If your highest and best version of you kicked in your front door, barged in, walked in the kitchen, was making the coffee, and you walked in, and and your highest and best self was in your kitchen, the highest and best self said, here you are, this is what it looks like, then you wouldn't have to walk by faith. You wouldn't have to go through the process, the refinement. You wouldn't have to go through all the things that make you stronger. If I woke up tomorrow and I could run a marathon, then I wouldn't have to go through every single day struggling to run a mile and a half. I wouldn't have to go through every single morning struggling and building my strength, building my resolve, building this never quit, building this thing in me that strengthened me where I know I'm not ever going to quit. If I didn't go through all the, y'all, if I hadn't lived at a cooler, I wouldn't appreciate a refrigerator. If I didn't cook my kids' eggs on a grill outside because I didn't have a stove, I wouldn't appreciate having a stove. If I hadn't gone through all the stuff that I've been through, I wouldn't appreciate the small things that I have now. Y'all have no idea. No idea. This isn't theory for me. This isn't just Aaron talking. This is Aaron living my life, going through a bunch of crap, just like Doug, just like each one of y'all. Teal McKinney says to be able to travel free, work free, to be able to free. Gosh, I can't read. To be able to be free to travel without worry of bills. Okay, here's what I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Coming from someone who used to stress about money constantly. I stressed about money constantly. I lived in lack. I lived in scarcity. I was afraid every time the phone rang. I was afraid to go to the mailbox. I lived my life like that for far too long. Okay. What I want you to do, Teal, is I want you to start to put a collection of pictures and or pages in something that you can look at every single day of every place you want to travel. And I want you to start to sit with every one of those pictures and every one of those books and every one of those times. And I want you to just sit and I want you to emotionally feel yourself there. Because as long as you have, and even these words, with without worry of bills, without worry of bills means there's a worry of bills. Okay? That without worry of bills means there's a worry of bills. Michelle Tilson, I want you to sit with that feeling. What's it going to feel like to be financially independent? What does that mean? What are you going to be able to do? What are you going to be the hunter? Go at these fears. Go at these fears. Take an active response to those fears. So, Teal, It's not going to be in a day, and it won't be in a week, and it won't be in a month. It's going to be day after day after day after day. And then one day you're going to be in that location at that vacation spot, and you're going to remember, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, look at this. And you'll go back to the picture that I told you to get today on September the 6th, 2022. And you'll go back to the picture and you'll show Mike and you'll go, look at this, Mike. We're here. This is where we are. And what that's going to do is it's going to reinforce this process. Y'all, you can't change what you have until you change what you do. You can't change what you look at until you change what you see. Because here's the deal. If you listen to your feelings will tell you that it's okay to stay in bed, that it's okay to not do the things necessary. It's okay to not go to a mentoring meeting. It's okay to not go to the gym. It's okay to not make the phone calls. It's okay to not go to the Madison meeting. It's okay to not go to Coach Burt. It's okay to not. You got better things to do. If you listen to your feelings, your fear uses your feelings to make you keep running away. Your feelings will let your fear keep scaring you away from your dreams. Your ego, this little dude over here, uses your feelings against you because it'll tell you, man, you're tired today. Man, you sure are tired today. You probably ought to stay in the bed. Man, I don't know if I'd pick up the phone and call that person because that last time you called a for sale by owner, that for sale by owner cussed you out. I'm not sure I'd even call them. I'm not sure I'd call them because what are you going to say? You haven't been in real estate long enough. You don't even know what to say. I'm not sure I'd call anybody today. Why don't you just look at Facebook? Just scroll TikTok. That's what your feelings do. That's what your feelings do. Your mind will sometimes battle your feelings, but some of our minds will do the same things because we'll let our minds justify what our feelings tell us. Gosh, I married two people out of feelings and let my mind justify it. It'll be okay. You can make this work. When you fight back those fears, when you become the hunter instead of being the hunted, when you decide to be proactive, when you decide to do what needs to be done on a daily basis to chase after your dream, to chase after your desire, to do the things necessary to get the things you want to do, when you write down that dream or desire, when you write down, I want a real estate school, when you write down, I want to write a series of children's books, you write those things down, you start taking steps to do it. Go to Office Depot, buy you a notebook, Millie. Go buy a spiral notebook and just start writing ideas. Go buy you a nice leather bound journal and start writing ideas. If it's your real estate school, have you seen what it's going to look like? Do you know where it's going to be? Teal, go get brochures. Brenda, go up there in that lot, on that mountain lot, call the people that own the lot and just go up there and sit. Take you a lawn chair and just sit on it. Y'all, when you start to fight back these fears, when you start to be proactive, here's what happens. God sees your effort. The universe sees your effort and rewards you accordingly. But why would you deserve a reward if you're not going to put in the effort? Why would you deserve a reward? How can you achieve that thing if you're not going after it? Are you a hunter or are you being hunted? Are you running from your fears or will you chase your fears? Will you turn and face your fears and run at them with everything you've got? I know y'all don't believe this. I know you don't believe this. I hate my voice. When I try to go back and watch these videos, I can't stand it. Hate my voice. I don't honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I'm probably more of an introvert than I am an extrovert. So me being able to do these calls and get on here every morning to think that I have something to say, I promise y'all, I fight uh, I fight a fear of inadequacy every single day I get on these calls. Because I don't believe the message that I'm giving you sometimes, or I don't believe the words that are coming out of my mouth sometimes. Sometimes I just feel like I'm just rambling, and I don't feel like I'm offering anything of value. I have that thing is in me. So every single day I do these calls, I fight a little bit of fear. When I try to go back and watch them, you know what I say to myself? Nobody wants to watch this stuff. Nobody wants to watch these calls. That's why there's only 10 people on here. That's why nobody looks at them on YouTube. You really don't have that much to say. If y'all don't think I don't have those same fears, if you don't think I don't have these same feelings of inadequacy, if you don't think that I don't have this for me every single morning is fighting fears, I promise you it is. I promise you it is. But I know this process is necessary to do the things that Christy and I need to do. I know this process is necessary to help our company grow and expand. I know this process is necessary. I, y'all, I to think about going to a networking event, to think about going to a networking event, sitting there and talking to people just for the sake of talking to people, drives me insane. I'm telling you, it drives me insane. But those again are necessary things that have to be done in this business, in this industry. So I fight back my fears just like you do. But I've decided, but I have decided that the well-being of this company, the well-being of our agents, that y'all, God spoke wise words through a donkey's ass or through a donkey. I guess he was an ass. Sorry about that's what they call him in the Bible. That to me is one of the greatest stories ever in the Bible because if he can use a donkey, he can use me, right? I'm guessing that's why it's in there. Um, so we got to keep going. I got to keep pressing. I got to keep fighting back those fears. I have to keep doing the things necessary to make sure that I am even through all of my inadequacies, even through I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm not obviously not the best looking guy in the world. Hell, if I looked like Brad Pitt and had the mind of Einstein and could talk like I don't know who do I want to do my who's the guy that played God in that movie? Oh, what's his name? Not Samuel L. Jackson. Morgan Freeman. If I had Morgan Freeman's voice, Brad Pitt's looks, and had the mind of Einstein, oh my gosh, it'd be great, right? I would love for people to hear me talk. Heck, you'd love to hear me talk, but that's not the way this works. I've been given what I've got. This is what I have to work with. And so I've got to fight these feelings of inadequacy. I've got to fight these fears. I've got to be the hunter. I've got to go get it every single day. My kids are watching me. My wife is watching me. You guys are watching me. Got to fight those fears every single day. Every single day. You got to get up and face those fears. Y'all, if you're new in this business, I'm certain you have fears. If you're seasoned in this business, I'm certain you have fears. If you've made $500,000 a year in this business, you still have fears. We are not bulletproof from those things that chase us. We are not bulletproof from those things that are there that maybe we've repressed, maybe we don't see, maybe only come out every now and again. They are there. The key is you got to face them. The key is not only do you have to face them, but you got to turn and chase them. You got to push them back into the corner. I promise you, a bully ain't a bully when you punch them in the mouth. A monster isn't a monster when you confront it. I promise you. It's 6:12. I have 3 minutes left with you guys. We got to get on the road. I want to. I keep telling y'all that I'm gonna. I just this thing. It makes me. Here's what I want for each one of you. And I want this for each one of you because I know that if each one of you get this, if each one of you can get this, if each one of you in this company, in Exit Realty Lake Country, if every one of us, all 60 whatever of us that are in this company, if every one of us have the desire, not a desire, if every one of us have the determination, the resolve, the grit, the fortitude to be world class, if everybody that came to Exit Realty Lake Country, every single agent, every single man, every single woman, every single person that came into our company, if we all came together, individually came together, and each individual had this desire to be world class, to be top 1%. Can you imagine how powerful our company would be? Do you imagine the change that we could initiate in the real estate industry? Can you imagine the number of lives we would touch? The number of that number would grow. If every one of you would grab this determination, you would put this determination in your spirit and your soul that you're going to be world class. And nothing was going to keep you from being world class. Nothing. Not a fear, not an emotion, not another person. But every single morning when you woke up and you took your first breath, you said, today, I'm going to be world class. I'm going to walk like I'm world class. I'm going to talk like I'm world class. I'm going to have world class relationships. I'm going to have world class lunches. I'm going to have world class conversations. I'm going to elevate my standards, and everything that I do is going to be world class. Can you imagine if there were 63 or 64 of us, 70 of us, 100 of us who all decided individually we were going to be world class, that we weren't going to listen to the outside influences, the bitching and moaning, the complaining. We weren't going to be complainers. We weren't going to bitch and moan about stuff. We weren't going to bring those things and try to drag other people down with us. We were going to elevate our spirits. We were going to elevate our emotions. We were going to elevate our behaviors. We were going to elevate the way we talk to each other. We were going to elevate the way we lifted each other up. If one person's hurting, 17 people are going to come pick them up. If one person's having a bad day, 85 people are coming to pick them up. If one person's having a moment, there's somebody there to help them. Can you imagine what Exit Realty Lake Country would look like? Can you imagine what the Lake Country Board of Realtors would look like if Exit Realty Lake Country became a leader on that board? Can you imagine what Milledgeville would look like if Exit Realty Lake Country became a leader in Milledgeville? Can you imagine what Hartwell, Madison, Gainesville, Brazelton, can you imagine what Mount Juliet, Nashville would look like if Exit Realty Lake Country, if this company, if every one of you decided, I'm done playing this amateur game. It's time to be world class. I'm tired of doing this. It's time to be a champion. Can you imagine? Are you a hunter or are you hunted? Are you going to allow your fears to keep chasing you? Or will you fight your fears? Will you face your fears? Will you chase your fears? Can you be world class? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Today, today, I want you to fight your urge of distraction. I want you to fight your urge to be distracted. I want you to fight your urge of scrolling Facebook. I want you to fight your urge of scrolling TikTok. If you're on Facebook, you're putting out marketing. You're doing something, you're reaching out to someone to send them a message. You're doing something to propel your business. If you're on TikTok, you're just putting something for marketing. If you're on Instagram, it's marketing. You're not going to be distracted. You're going to give every ounce of focus and energy into every single conversation that you have. You're going to give every ounce of focus and energy to your spouse. You're going to give every ounce of focus and energy to your child. You're going to give every ounce of focus and energy to yourself. You're going to give today every bit of effort you can in the first step towards world class. It's easy to be distracted. It's easy to not do it. It's easy to stay in the habitual behaviors you've always had. I'm challenging you today, September 6th, 2022, to start your journey. If you've already started your journey, take some more steps today. Increase your speed, increase your velocity. Find the missing structures, as Coach Burt would say. Find the missing pieces in your game. Find those missing spots in your game. I stand at the door and knock. Jesus is standing at the door and knocking. Your best version of you is standing at the door and knocking, waiting for you to stop being afraid. Are you a hunter or are you hunted? Are you allowing your fears to chase you? Are you running from your fears? Are you running from the highest and best version of you? Are you running from your greatness? Or will today you turn and face it and say, not anymore, not anymore. It's time to be world class. I love y'all. Don't know, man. I was struggling this morning. I wouldn't really. Hopefully, maybe I'll go back and watch this, and maybe I won't be disappointed in what I said. But hopefully, you got something from this today. I still owe y'all this. I don't type very fast, so it's kind of like I got to get here and type this thing. I still owe you this. I'm not going to read it today, but I still owe you this morning. The thing that I read sometimes. I still owe you guys that, so I'll get that done today. I love y'all. Be good. Be great. Be you. Remember, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central. We have the mentor call, the mentee call today about branding. So be on that. Um, what else? That's it. Love y'all. Be good. Be great. Be you. Bye.